Well, hello everybody and welcome back to Robert's Train Set. For this, the second episode on the O gauge. And if I stand to one side a bit, we left it last time with the tracking and this 09 shunter that came with the complete set. And to be honest, if you were happy with what's here, that would be it. 345 quid and you're into O gauge. But knowing me, no I'm not. So in this episode, what came out of this box, but before that, what's in this box? Well, nothing because I've got it out, but yeah, what was in it. And the point on this that came with the set, which by the way is probably £60 to buy, is a very similar point to a Hornby standard point. And this is the little rig I did when I was building the one over there, to change the blades. And I think a very similar system is going to be on this one. Because I do want to try and keep it, in very big inverted commas, simple. But the one thing that the point on here has that is worse, I think, for DC operators than this one, I'll go into, because I was really surprised. And the other thing is, I didn't really want this just sitting on the top of the bit that it was on, the polished wood, because it slides and moves about. So I've actually bought a big sheet of this sort of non-slip plastic really, and it does work. But I thought that doesn't look very nice. So if we go closer to the layout, we'll see what I've done. So I hope you'll stay with me and see how we're getting on. I am really pleased actually. I've really enjoyed just having a little hand controller and being able to control everything really quickly. So let's get this camera to where you can see more of the layout and we'll carry on. So I hope you can see that I've got some ballast. Now don't worry, this isn't glued, this is just sitting there. And I think I should be able to retrieve it all when I want to change this layout. And I don't know if you remember, but when I was doing the little O gauge, which is on the other side of this conservatory, not having ballasted really up at the attic loft railway, I made a boo-boo, didn't I? And I bought this stuff from WW Scenics, and I think we all agreed that it was rather too big for the double O. So I thought, will it be okay for O? Which is what I've done, and I'll show you a close-up picture in a minute of I would value your opinion. But unbelievably, this layout has used 2 kilos of ballast and I still haven't managed to do all of it. So I'll take you off the tripod and we'll just have a little gander along. So starting from this end, I do believe that they're O-scale cars, 143 is the thing. But it doesn't actually say underneath what they are, but they look about right. Now you might notice where I didn't have enough ballast, I've used the green turf, and that's this Jarvis stuff, which I've had years and years. I think I've got some of this up on the loft layout. It makes it look green, shall we say that? I wouldn't say it's great, would it? But there we are. But you know, it's been sitting in this wrapper for God knows how many years, and I thought I might as well make use of it here. So as you can see, I've cut it in. I didn't do it quite right, but you know, it's only temporary, so it doesn't really matter. The tree, it's over from the 00, and yes, it's 00, but you know, it's a short tree. It's just beginning to grow. The signal, now yes, this is a 00 signal, Hornby, and there's a reason for it being where it is. It will be in the proper layout when I build it. It will be a proper O gauge signal. It might even be operational. We'll see. Yes, I must say that the 09 has been running very, very well, and it does seem to be getting able to run a lot slower than it did right at the beginning, even though you're not meant to run them in. Now, I did run this in a little bit, not a lot, because it's very difficult on an end-to-end. You have to run it up and then run it down and then run it back, and yeah, whatever. But I did it a bit. So as you can see, yes, so that is 2 kilos of ballast, less a little bit that I probably use elsewhere or ground up, which I did. But yeah, it makes it look a bit more like a layout. And as I said, if you were happy with this, you know, that's it. You're into O gauge, you've got a locomotive, maybe buy a couple of wagons or whatever, and yeah, great. But I'm not, as you can probably imagine. So when I bought this set, did I mind that it was only DC? Well, I didn't. I thought, why not have a bit of very simple, not having to get a computer out and rig it all up, just turn your controller on that's connected to the layout and run it. And to most things that's happened. I'm quite happy. But at this point, if you do DC with the Hornby point, when you switch the blades, it kills the power to the other branch, doesn't it? And I must admit, that's what I thought would happen with this. And you'll see why that matters in a minute. But this being a unifrod point, it doesn't quite work like that. Both branches are live the whole time, which is great for DCC, but this isn't a DCC layout. So they've made it easier for DCC modelers to use this, but made it harder for the DC ones, which I think is, you know, bit weird really. But and it's not simple to sort of overcome that, or as far as I can determine from what I've read, you need to isolate things and put different feeds in. So that's something we'll have to sort out, because this point will be in the layout that is my preferable layout to model, which you'll see later on. So with the 09 sitting not on the track, as you can probably work out, because of this failure of this point to be able to isolate any of the tracks. So I did mention, I think in a post, that I bought another Ginty from the Great Electric Train Show, and this is what I bought, exactly the same as I had before really, and yes, it is a Bachmann, so ostensibly exactly the same as I had to send back. So this one has worked better. It's not perfect by any feat of the imagination, but I do feel that it's okay for my layout. So what have I bought to partner this 09 diesel? Let's have a look. So with my now extended controller with longer lead on, we'll bring it into the shot, shall we? So remember, no sound for this, but let's bring her in. And yes, it's a Ginty, which is what was in that box I showed you. So again, a nice solid box, and unlike our 00 friends, not in bubble blisters or anything like that, just in the foam really. So yeah, just in the foam with the very soft plastic around them, which works. It got it here. I think it does help if you put the 09 on the track, doesn't it? So let's try that again. As you can see. So I was really surprised that this happens. I thought that was the last thing I thought would be a problem. Let's go backwards again. But as you can see, now the Ginty is faster on the same setting, and as you can hear, I hope, they are both quite noisy, to be honest, but perhaps that's because there's a lot more weight to move around, but I'm not quite sure about that, I must admit. So with the 09 relegated off its tracks, I showed you this box, didn't I, at the beginning, this very, very, very big box. And as you can see, it's from Depot. So what's this? Well, let's get the Ginty to bring it into view for you. So this is what it is. And although it might look very similar, the ends are different. One end is, yes, the same as the 00, but the other end is different. It's not blank, it's got windows in and whatever. So this has worked really well. And if I reverse it back, there we are. Now, it is actually hitting the window frame at the other end, and so this carriage, auto coach, so it lends itself to an end-to-end in that it can be driven backwards or forwards without having to do a runaround, which I don't think I'm going to get. But it is 620 odd millimetres long overall. So whichever layout I decide on, I'm not going to have a fiddle yard because it will use nearly a third of my whole layout, and that's why we have the signal, because what I thought I can do is, because of the layout that I've sort of decided on, which I will ask your opinions on later on, trains will have to stop here sometimes to let other trains out, shall we say. and I can have it sitting here ready to come in, and that's a good starting point for a video. So what we're going to do now is show you one of the problems I've found with this particular setup. So again, it's a camera move, and I'll come back to you. So with the poor 09 diminished off the track so that it doesn't run, I'll show you a problem. So this is coupled up with the link that comes with the loco. There's also one on the carriage. And going forward, it's pretty good. So let's bring it into the siding. And as it comes past, please note the gap between the loco and the carriage. It does need a bit more power to actually get it there. But yes, successful. There we are. And the siding is actually long enough to take it and be able to run something the other branch. So if we now change to reverse, and I'll try and reverse it out as you would want to if this was a station, back whence it came. So let's have a go. Oh dear. So what do we get? I'm sure you can imagine. It's buffer lock. So having moved the whole rig by hand to buffer lock it, it'll just carry on on its merry way back into the original starting position. And as you saw in those photographs, yes, it's a problem. So this was my first go with the Anyrail 7, and I just wanted to see how this would fit, and as you can see, it wasn't too bad. So the second go was to see if I bought an extra point, what I could do, and as you can see, it would need to be extended out at the front. So I didn't think this was enough for me anyway, so I left it. So it was at this stage I decided I'd probably need new points and whatever, and you can see on here I've got a double slit and a thinner angle point, which does give you a lot more room to play with. So this is the same layout, but I put the items you need to do it, which is quite a useful tool on it. So with these ones that I've done in the space that I've got, I just decided it wasn't enough room. So in this one, I've taken it right across the doorway, and as you can see, it's a bit different. So on this next one, I went completely bonkers, and I went up in the loft, and I measured right across my workbench to the roofs either side and got about 4 meters, I think, or so, and this is what I came up with. And in this I've used quite a bit of the first, the starter set, which I would like to do, I think, but to be honest, I don't really want to have to do it up there. It's hard work and I'm not getting any younger, am I? So back down in the conservatory, and yes, I am going to use an extension across the door. So this is the first one I came up with, which, you know, had possibilities, but I still wasn't really happy, I don't think. So here's the one, I think. I don't know what you think. Please have a look at it and see what you think. It's not exactly drawn properly, but it's over the doorway. The door will be open, but it will not go between the door type. It will just be butted over the space, probably with a leg under it. That's probably what I'll do. So I'm quite happy with this. I think I've got quite a lot of play with it, and we'll see how we go, you know. Great. So this is the double O Bachmann Ginty. You may see it running. This is the O gauge one. As you can see, they're the same. Size is a bit different. This is the end that you couple on the O gauge auto coach. But on the double O, it's like this. This is the end that you see, and this is without the lights on. And this is with the lights on, and obviously on DC you need to turn it up to get them to show. And this is the end you see on the double O one. Need a light, don't they? And here's the O gauge one, sitting with the car there. Not too bad. This other end that connects up to the loco, that's for the speaker, that funny bit in there. The graphics are very nice, I must admit, but then they should be on an O gauge, shouldn't they? And yes, there are wire handrails and so, as you would expect. And this is inside with the lights on. It's okay. I mean, yeah, they're there, aren't they? The bogies are okay. I wouldn't say they're completely detailed. Now, what's this for? This is what I use to spread all that ballast around with. And this is to clean the wheels on the O gauge locos. It worked. And I did get the lights working on the buffers, albeit they're the wrong ones, but mind. But I just connected them to a 9-volt battery, which was partly depleted, I believe. So, running out of time, so these are the two wagons that you haven't seen, and I'll show you these in the next episode, if you would like to join me. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.